Hello everybody, this is Jeannie T with It's All About Yarn, Knit and Crochet. This isn't yarn, but it's really good homemade bread. And I'm using olive oil instead of vegetable oil. I think it will be good. And I cut off a slice of it. Now I've never done this before, but I've seen people cutting off a slice and frying it in the frying pan. So here it is. So I cut off a slice and I flattened it out. I'm going to let it rise again. In the pan I added some olive oil, some garlic powder, and smoked paprika. I like these spices. They cost quite a bit, but they're not loaded down with salt. You wouldn't believe, I know, I use Clubhouse often. They have such a wonderful variety, but you wouldn't believe how much less salt is in the Epicure. It's very healthy, has no MSGs or any of that artificial stuff. So I'm going to let this bread rise and probably add a little more olive oil and try to cook it, see how it turns out, and have it with my dinner this evening. So look, here is my bread recipe. It is so delicious. It only takes a couple of hours. I'll go back to the top. Three cups of lukewarm water, half a cup of sugar. Hold on a second, please. I need to do this because I know the difference, but I do not put the salt in with the yeast because sometimes it just doesn't rise. So I will put the salt in with the flour. Okay, so I put all this into one bowl together. With the water has to be lukewarm. Sorry, I keep it taped inside of my cupboard doors with a few other recipes. And in a big bowl, oh my goodness, this in a big bowl. Oops, make that a L. And I would put the salt with the flour and then the wet stuff with the wet stuff, but sift the dry stuff together first. And then when you're ready to add your yeast after it's doubled in size, let double. Then you can pour it into your dry ingredients. I make full loaves of bread with this as well. This smells so delicious. Now if I cut this in quarters, and it will rise really big. I could take one of the quarters, which would be a loaf, and roll it out on the table and melt butter and spread it out on the butter and then sprinkle ground cinnamon and sugar on it and roll it up into a loaf and put it in a loaf pan, let it rise, and then bake it. Keep an eye on it because the brown sugar, oh, it will smell so good, but sugar burns. So keep an eye on how long it's in and the temperature. And when your bread is done, the pan lightens right up because all the wetness is gone. And you can also notice that it can pull away from the edge a little bit because it shrinks a little bit. But it lightens right up in weight if you lift your pan. It tells you how long to cook the buns, but loaves are longer. And that's how you do it. So anyways, give this recipe a try. And happy yarning, everybody. You can have a munch and do some knitting. Bye now. Oh, and please subscribe and like my video.